So here we have a pretty straightforward engine cleaning. It's a 2000, I think. So now, or man, I always forget the vehicles and the years that they tell me. Anyways, overall, it's not that bad. There's like there's a decent layer of dust and dirt built up across the motor, the bay here. But just the quick cleaning. And for those that are always concerned about water and stuff, I mean, again, you're just using just enough water to carry down and rinse down the dirt and grime and solution. Like, you're not actually soaking. It's just enough for the water to touch here and roll down. That's it. If you're worried about the electronics or what have you, like, just cover it up. Put a towel, put a towel, put a towel. Like, go overboard with towels if you want, if that's gonna make it more comfortable for you to actually work on the vehicle. Disconnect the battery if you want. Like, cover up every single, if you want. If that, just literally spray like ONR or your clay lube or APC and just go with a towel. Like, it's something like this, very basic, very straightforward. Even if you're just using a towel and APC or like a clay lube or ONR, you can still do this within 45 minutes. Like, introducing no water, you're gonna use a lot of towels, maybe a few brushes if you want, but you can still knock it out in like 45 minutes with just towels like this. We're still gonna rinse it down and such. We're gonna cover the alternator. You could use a bag, but we don't use much water, so just something to cover it up even more, just to cover it up a little bit better than just letting water hit it directly is good enough for us, because we know what we're doing and we're not using that much water at all. But if you want to go crazy, just start putting towels everywhere. Like, if that's what you're concerned about, just do that and go by hand, or you know, it's not meant to completely douse the motor with water. And also he put in a request for just the seats. Since we're already here, that's no problem. Like, normally if someone says, hey, can you come do our seats, and they just want the seats, we won't do it, because driving out just to do 2 seats, not worth it. But they are close by. We're already doing the engine. Put in the request for 2 seats. We have another one at 10:30, but this will take absolutely no time, so it's an easy job to just knock out.
Everything right? Good.
Yeah. And yes, it would be more helpful if I removed all the debris from the cow hood area before we started spraying, but that's what happens when you're recording. You kind of forget a few steps because you want to get everything on camera. Anyhow. So there's nothing special going on here. We're literally just spraying our APC into the brush onto the areas we're cleaning. We agitate because there's not much heat outside, because the motor itself isn't hot. Then we can work just about the entire engine bay before we actually have to start rinsing. If the temperature is hotter, if the motor is hotter, you will want to rinse sooner so that nothing dries on the engine bay. Now when it comes to cleaning this area, if it's in a bad condition, if it's torn, if it's sagging, if it's ripping, you wouldn't want to use as much water or that much pressure, or maybe you just want to lightly clean it with a microfiber towel. That way you just don't add more to the damage because of the condition that it's in. This one was good, so I went ahead and did it. Alright, now that we agitated most of the motor, we're just going behind and wiping everything down. You could also use a blower to get the water out of the tight areas and still wipe it down. It just depends on what you want to do. But here we're just taking a few towels and just getting into those very hard to reach areas that maybe we just didn't see with while we were brushing. Maybe it was just hard to see because it was wet. But regardless, we just go across the entire engine bay and wipe it down. In total, it takes us about, let's see, minus a camera, like 35 minutes. and we're also just talking and kind of taking it slow because it's a pretty simple job. But here it took us like 35 minutes, I believe, to get it done. Now, while I was dressing the engine bay, Anthony was taking care of these two seats. He vacuumed it, he agitated with a brush, and then obviously extracted them. Due to the condition of the type of seat that it is, you couldn't really tell how dirty it was, but there was actually quite a bit of nastiness coming out of the seats. Now, because I just had to set it in a static position while he works and while I works, I'm not gonna have that great of an angle here. Again, it took maybe like 15 minutes to do both seats. Since we were just in and out within like an hour, the seats were still gonna be wet. I tell the customer, hey, just either keep the windows down or the windows open for like another hour. Once the sun comes out, they're gonna dry in no time. But it was strict. Like, we were there just for the engine cleaning, but when we got there, he put the request in for the seats. It took no problem, took no time, and he was happy with the results. And then once we were done there, he went ahead and cleaned the leather on the sides, which is more like vinyl plastic type, not so much leather. But anyway, we also touched that up. Well, he did, just to kind of complete the seat. Okay, and there we go. It is done for the most part. Probably touch-ups here and there a little bit. 10-year, yeah, did I say what? 2010, 2000? So, 19 years, there's going to be some limitations and such. But anyhow, I'm at 20% now, so hopefully I'll be able to record the next detail as well. But for now, we're good here, ready to go. Anthony's touching up the interior, just the leather, well, more the pleather size than anything. But just touching up the last little bits here and there on the seats only, seats only, seats only. That's what we're doing. And we put some towels right here to kind of, since it's a little dirty right here, to kind of not touch the seats. So engine looking spiffy. And yeah. Right, and I dressed it with Meguiar's Hyper Dressing Diluted 4 to 1, I believe. I just spray everywhere, wipe it down. I didn't use a blower. I should go get the blower and blow it out, but I won't get that on camera. I have a new blower actually. I'll be reviewing it later. It's a motorcycle blower, not from Metro, not from any of those companies. Yeah, I gotta go. And because I wanted to preserve as much battery as I could on my A7 III, I pulled out the GoPro. And this is just a setup. We have the dirty engine towels in a separate bag because they're stored and washed separately. That's our bag where we keep the clean ones in the front pocket and then the dirty ones in the bigger pocket. The extractor, the generator from Harbor Freight. We still have the Honda generator. We just got it back from repair. So just showing you around and how it looks and such. Oh, and speaking of that blower, I don't know, I had a footage of it. Yeah, so that's it right here. It was $85. I just used it a handful of times now, so I can't give you like a definitive answer or anything. But for the first impression, the first, couple times I've used it, I'm a fan of it. I'll be doing a video on it soon. I honestly don't even know the name. I ordered it, and I would have to check on all the specs and everything. But for now and what it is, I do enjoy it. So no, it's not your headphones or your phone that's not making any audio. I actually didn't have my camera turned down when I was recording this. So here I am, Oscar, looking hyperactive and talking, and there's no audio. So basically what I was saying here is that we are at the second customer's location. It's like 10:38, I believe. But after we finished the morning customer, I realized that I didn't have the address or the phone number to the second customer. So I emailed her and she responded within like 5 minutes, and we were still able to make it at 10:38, and it was originally set for 10:30. So just fortunately, the first customer and the second customer were only about 13 minutes apart. The customer emailed me back quickly, so we were still on target, and that was just like an unfortunate turn of events, but it actually wasn't that bad. It was mostly on my mistake that I didn't make sure that I had the information, but this is the first time that's actually ever happened. Anywho, let's go ahead and look at the before condition. The primary areas that were really bad were actually the headliner. You can close it if you need to. You can close it if you need to. Close what? The drawer. I don't think you're trying to close it. And of course the seats, center console, door panels, they definitely needed cleaning, but they weren't like, it wasn't the main areas that needed to be focused on. Now the worst part about this detail is that at the heat index at one point was 108 degrees, and it was bad. I mean, it was like the sun just sucks the energy and soul out of you, and it's just not fun. But anyhow, it came out so well overall. We just had to fight through the heat quite a bit, drink enough water, wear a hat, wear sunscreen, and take small breaks here and there. First off is we're going to start vacuuming the interior. We're going to give it a thorough vacuuming to see if there's any stains on the floor, to give us a better visualization of what's going on, and of course also vacuuming the trunk space. That way at the end of the detail, when we're done, we don't like open up a compartment or open up the trunk and see a huge mess. So we're just trying to get this part out of the way first. And as Anthony is vacuuming the inside, I'll be outside in the shade taking care of the floor mats, where I'll vacuum and shampoo them, then set them out to dry, and then me and Anthony will tag team the seats and knock them out. Yeah, I don't know what was going on this day, but once again, my mic was not working. Not that it's broken, but I don't think I had the jack all the way in on the camera, so it just wasn't plugged in. So this rarely happens, but you know, I make mistakes. Don't turn into a keyboard warrior. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just put a soundtrack over it. So just enjoy the music and the cleaning because it is good cleaning. It comes out very well. But hey, look, I made a mistake. It wasn't plugged in. Don't get mad. All right, don't unsubscribe. I'll do another video sometime soon. So just enjoy the video with music. And we have audio. Here I'm using the GoPro that I just purchased. And if you saw a recent video that I posted, I'm actually holding the GoPro in my mouth, and that's going to give me the best perspective. Chest or the headpiece is just too high, too low. That's why you see that white dangling thing on the camera. That's a glove that I put over the GoPro piece so I can put it in my mouth. Anyways, enjoy the content. And here we are with the dirty water, as a lot of people like to see this part where I just pour it out. As you can tell, pretty brownish, pretty blackish, because we're pulling out all that nastiness from the seats and the floor mats. I think I probably refilled it up 2 to 3 times for this interior. And as far as refilling the clean water, I just get the container, go to the water spigot, turn on said water spigot, let water spigot release the water. Once water is at its appropriate levels, I shut off the water spigot, maybe add a bit more, turn off, and then just put it back into the machine. This is probably one of the first few times I actually record doing the headliner cleaning, and I'm just going to walk you through different processes that I did. They're not going to be shown on camera, but I would just want to talk you through it. This is a red stain. Now we do have a red stain specific cleaner that helps you remove red stains like blood, wine, makeup. But here I just went ahead and steamed it directly with the steamer, sprayed APC into the brush, lightly agitated. You always want to be careful on the agitation part when it comes to headliners. I'm gonna hit it again one more time with the steamer to help break it apart, and then wipe it down. If this wouldn't have worked, then I would have pulled out the red zone cleaner, which is specifically made to pull off red stains from just surfaces. But here, as you can see, it came out great. And as a side note, this was actually at the end of the detail already. Like, we finished just about everything. Maybe we needed to touch up a few spots around the seats, touch up the seat belts, but this was held off to the very end. Now I do a variation of 3 different cleanings across the headline here. I use a steamer to break apart the stain, then spray an APC into either a brush and a towel, and then agitate. If I'm using a brush to agitate, then I'm gonna go back with a towel again, maybe with a little bit of APC, and agitate to make sure that there's no that there's not a lot of cleaner on the headliner, where it's gonna dry and then form that outer ring that so many of us see when you're cleaning the seats or any cloth material, and you just put too much liquid in there and it dries off, and then there's going to be an outer ring. That's what I'm trying to avoid here. So I'm always going to go over whatever I cleaned with a towel and APC, just to make sure I remove that outer ring before it actually dries. The next way I cleaned some areas was simply by an APC and a towel. It was just like a light smudge. There wasn't much to it, and it just easily comes off with just an APC and a towel. Always keep in mind you want to do it with minimum pressure. Another method that I did is with my drill brush. I went ahead and would spray the headliner with APC, and then on a low setting I would use the drill brush to clean the headliner, and that one was working out the best, where I'm not fully pressing the trigger and going at the headliner super hard. I'm just lightly pressing it, getting a little bit of rotation, and letting the drill brush do all of the work with very little pressure, and that one was actually working out the best for most of the headliner. There were some instances where I put the triangle head on the headliner. I agitated with a towel over the triangle head, and then come back with a brush and APC. I did quite a few of those just because there was a wide variety of stains on this headliner, from you see those big spills on top of the headliner. There are specific dots. There was those stains. So there's actually a wide array of just stuff I had to clean, and each one kind of needed a little bit more of a different cleaning. And there we go, we're complete. It is now 2:30 on the dot, and the interior is looking mighty fine. Have I ever said that before? Mighty fine? I don't know. Anyways, it's super hot out here. It is really, I want to say pushing 100. So before we faint, the door panels, here's the really ugly well, that they were ugly until we came in. You know what I'm saying? These are looking spectacular. A few little dots here that didn't want to come out all the way. Nonetheless, looking fantastic. Bada boom pastic. There's a song like that. I forgot what song it was. Okay, here's the headliner. The headliner came out, I say 90% good. I say 90 just because I'm human, so I'm not gonna literally get everything. Like, there's just, I'm sure there's things that I could have probably done more, but I'm literally heat exhausted right now, and it's like about 90%. So I mean, could I track it a little bit more? Yeah, but I mean, we're being like realistic here. You know, it's 4 hours, it's 100+ degrees. It's already looking 100 times better. So headliner is looking good. I mean, looking 100 times better than what it came in. That little mark didn't come out as good. I used a steamer, APC 4-to-1, 10-to-1. Let me know what I could do to get that out. Carpet. And the camera's about to die. Let's see what else I can get before it dies. It's literally about to die. It's telling me I have 1%. I have 4 minutes left on filming.